line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. Pleased, as always, to be joined by Scott Berry, head baseball coach at Southern Mississippi. Coach, I know this is not necessarily how you drew it up this weekend, at least in your mind, but the reality is when you go out and you play baseball, you don't win all of them. As you look back on the three-game series, what are your thoughts?
Well, honestly, Richard, in reality, we got beat by a better team this weekend. I mean, Illinois beat us in all phases when you grade it out over the three games and earned the series win. But moving forward, there's still a lot of unknowns, and particularly our pitching staff and how to use them and what they're going to be able to do. They're just, baseball, to be successful, you got to be consistent. And right now, that's kind of just through the 7 games that we played and being 5-2, we just haven't, in this young season, seen the consistency that you'd hope to see out of particularly your bullpen is what I'm, relating to the most.
So this is one of those questions that you're like, come on, Richard, because if I had the answer to that, I would immediately get it. But in terms of seeking that consistency, what's the process for you? And because you don't get to just like stop and take a couple of weeks to work on things, you have to turn around and play on Tuesday and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and do it over and over and over.
Well, I think the biggest thing, most of these adjustments that these young players have to make is more on the mental side than the physical side. They all have the talent, they have the skill level for the most part to compete and play at this level. It's the mindset, it's how you recover from a bad outing or a bad at bat or a bad game defensively, everything that goes into the struggles and being able to conquer this game. Those are the things move forward, and the only way you can redeem yourself is by another opportunity to go out and get it done. And that's what we'll have to do, because that's where we're at with the personnel that we have right now. Where we have 20 returning players from last year's team, 12 that saw significant action, 8 saw a little bit or they were red shirts. But, the 18 new guys that really have to factor in for those that we lost, particularly on the pitching side, with the 5 underclassmen that signed, that were drafted, there's still those unknowns, and there's going to be growing pains with that. And those that haven't had the success, and certainly we're going to have to try to instill the confidence that they can go out at this level and compete. And the next opportunity is your time to show that.
Scott, based on what you just said, does that mean that the offense may have to lead you for a while? But because that's where the majority of those returning players, the veterans, the guys that have been through it and have the experience are lined up?
Well, you hope so. Right now, through 7 games, Richard, we're hitting 277. It's not a problem of getting on base. It's a problem of getting them in. Through 7 games, we've left 81 runners on base, and I think that's a little over 11 per game. And what we try to teach is create the opportunity and then cash in on it. So we're giving ourselves the opportunity by getting people on base. It's just we're not getting those 2-out hits. And unfortunately, this past weekend with Illinois, they did just that. They've got those big 2-out hits. Yesterday in the first inning, we went strikeout, base hit, walk. We're 1 pitch away from getting out of it, and guys singles. Now they're up 2-0. So that's a great at bat and great inning for them. But we've got to be able to create those innings like they did and cash in on them and create that momentum. And right now, that's what we're fighting. We're fighting about momentum, understanding what momentum is and how to keep it, and if you lose it, to get it back.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that is you say it's a single that scores 2 runs and sets the tone. It doesn't always have to be a 3-run home run or a screaming double in the gap. It's just somehow get it in play, right, so you can kind of steal something early.
And just giving yourself a chance, exactly right. And that's what we got to continue to do, is give ourselves a chance. And you've heard it over and over, just like I have. Hitting's contagious, and it certainly is. And if we can get some of our guys who have been slumping through the 7 games that we're counting on, if we can get them rolling, then I feel really good about it. But once again, we're talking about consistency, showing up each day and being able to give us those outings or those at bats like we want and need.
Well, I'd love to tell you that your next 5 games are against directional nobodies that have never played baseball before, but that's not the case. It's Mississippi State on Tuesday night, and then a series with Dallas Baptist, and then a midweek game next week with Ole Miss. It doesn't slow down, right? So you got to be good, and you got to be good fast.
That's right. I mean, you have to understand the sense of urgency and what we have to do. But once again, we've got to take it game by game, and we can't get caught up in who the opponent is. If the emotions of who the opponent is makes you play better, then certainly you're going to lose out on those that don't have as much meaning on the front of their chest. So, you just try to really concentrate on the game and playing the game and winning the game and competing as the game, gives you the opportunities to do. And hopefully that's what we'll do and mature in this young season. I know we're still 5-2, and losing a series loss, it makes you feel like you're 500. But we played an outstanding game on Tuesday against UNO, a one-hit shutout. I mean, we played as good a complete game as you could play against UNO. And then, obviously, against Illinois, the D1 write-ups that they had in the reviews coming in this season, I think were spot on. I think they have a chance to really make some noise in the Big Ten.
So in that game against UNO, you started Billy Oldham last week. What's the plan on the mound tomorrow against Mississippi State?
Well, we're going to go with Tyler Martin, left-hander, who has been seeing 2 appearances out of the bullpen. Billy got a little bit of shoulder tightness in there, so we're not going to push him. He's pretty close today, but I just don't feel good about it. Obviously naming him a starter, not that we wouldn't use him if he feels better tomorrow, but he's a key piece and a guy that I feel like we certainly know what we're going to get, and he's going to play big for us down the road. So if he feels good tomorrow, then we'll probably use him at some point, but we've had to kind of adjust that and go to Tyler Martin, who is a Nebraska transfer.
Certainly a lot of eyes on tomorrow night with you guys meeting up with Mississippi State in Pearl. Wish you all the best, and we'll talk to you next Monday. Thanks for your time, Scott.
Thank you, Rick.